Whether it's life, love, or mysteries of the universe, I'm here to break it down for you. So fasten your seatbelts, open your minds, and let's dive into the simple truth with me, Stuart, by your side.
Right, welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining me into today. Today, it is Frequently Answered Friday. It's where questions come through to me, and I actually go through those particular questions. I see the importance of those questions, and I use this particular session to answer them. And over the last couple of weeks, there's been this big question and statement that's been coming through to me from a number of agents and clients. And I thought, how relevant would it be for me to actually have this conversation with you right now? So, what is that particular question or statement that you're referring to? So, this is what it is. It came out like this. Stuart, we're now hitting to the festive time of the year, and everything around me is starting to almost slow down. What should I be doing to maintain that high level of productivity? Because all I want to do is join in with everybody. So the big question here is, when it comes to those festive times where everybody is taking a holiday and taking a break, what should I be doing in my business? And this becomes such an important part, because if you fall into this deep, dark hole where you just do nothing, ultimately you're going to fall into a bit of a trap. You see, we have this trap in our industry whereby if you're not doing any form of productive activities for 30 days, you're actually totally out of whatever industry you're in. And to come back, it's like starting from scratch. If you've been out for about 7 days, it can take you up to 21 days to get back into action. You see, those first couple of days after that break, your mind is still in a bit of a holiday mode and you're still very much toned down. So you need to make sure that you're carrying on. However, just bear this in mind. If you're taking a holiday break where you are physically saying, I'm going to be spending time with the family and friends and actually closing down my business for the next, say, 2 weeks, you're actually preparing yourself. And what you need to do is you need to make sure that when you come back, you already have your plan in place on what you're going to do, so that you don't come back from a holiday and then sit there and go, right, now what should I do? Because that could take you about 21 days to get yourself back into it. So make sure that if you are going away, that you do plan something and say, right, when I'm coming back 3-4 days after, I need to make these calls, I need to do this activity, and that will get you back into that run. But for those of you that are not going on holiday, and for those of you that are going, I'm still here, I still want to do the work, but Stuart, what should I be doing? Everybody else is taking that particular break. So today, what I'm going to share with you is a couple of little tips and tricks to help you to go through these festive times to help you in your business, so that you can remain productive, but still have that festive nature inside of you, where you're still enjoying the time with your own family and friends, but you're still doing a little bit of productivity. So the first one that I really want to do, and this is something that I was always doing as an agent and even in my businesses prior, is during the festive times, I always maintained communication. It's so important. And the communication wasn't on a business level, it was on a toned down level. It's what I used to regard as it was on a festive mood. So during the festive season, you've got to maintain those communications, send out those emails, those messages, give calls, reach out to your particular clients and give them those festive gratitude messages, those greeting messages. Keep that going on an ongoing basis throughout the times. So if you're a couple of weeks before a festive season, you can always send messages and say, hey, wishing you safety in the upcoming festive season. If you're in the middle of the festive season, wish you well. Hope you're enjoying your time with your friends and family. Remember, you don't always have to jump straight in with any business directly to your particular clients. But you need to maintain the conversations. You need to maintain the communication with your particular clients. You see, when you stop that journey of communicating and you come back, there's another agent or another rep that has actually been in communication. So there's a good chance that you could actually miss out on certain clients. So make sure that throughout the festive season, you're actually maintaining that communication with your clients. Send them those festive greeting messages, wishing them well, and any specific day, if it's a religious day or a public holiday, send them a message on that particular day, just saying warm wishes and hope you have a fantastic day. It's those little things that you do that will maintain and keep those relationships going forward. And on top of that, the great thing is you can actually do it while you're on holiday. You could almost set it up as scheduled messages. If you've got platforms that you use, so on emails, you can actually schedule them, and some messaging platforms, you can actually send those out as well. You could even schedule those messages so that while you're sitting, relaxing and enjoying, your messages are still going out. So you can leverage technology. But remember, maintain that communication. Now, through the communications, you need to make sure that the type of content is very strategic and it is themed to that particular holiday or that particular time. So you can actually spend some time early in the year. I used to do this around about, in fact, I used to do it in December during the holidays. For the entire year ahead, I would actually find the themes for all the holidays throughout the year, all those festive times throughout the year, and I would create the content for those seasons. So that's all done and dusted. And in fact, in a lot of them, I even had them pre-scheduled so that it's already done for the year ahead. So make sure that when you are doing those communications, that you've got some kind of strategic marketing behind it that will actually start to have relevance to that particular time. Now, that's getting those communications out, setting it onto those different types of platforms and messages and so forth by that. But there's something else, and this I used to absolutely love, especially this time of the year where you've got these festive markets that happen, whether they're at churches, whether at schools, or whether they're just in particular environments. These particular networking opportunities, and hear me here, these are networking opportunities with your community. When you see these particular markets or these type of fairs or something like that that happens, make sure that you're going to them. You can take your family with and you can actually enjoy it, but get out there and get seen. You see, it's these networking events when you're actually in that festive time, you're going to be part of that festive time and people will start to see you. It also gives you an opportunity that if you bump into a past client or a potential new client, you can actually just give them that verbal communication to them directly. And that really goes a long way with your particular clients. They will remember that. And also when you start going after that festive time, you can always have those communications where you're going, hey, I remember seeing you at that particular event. It was fantastic to see. And that's what you call building relationships. So if you see any of these holiday type of festive markets or festivals, go to them. Spend some time networking with people. And in fact, you can actually even do networking events yourself. You could actually, if you've got a great client base over the year, you could find an environment where you could actually in a park and invite people around and actually have some form of celebration together, just to celebrate the year, celebrate that festive time. They can bring their friends, they can bring their family. And the great thing with that is they're all focused on you. You don't have to be in a business mode. You're in a real social type of mode, but you're networking, and that is an absolute beaut when you're actually doing all of those things. Now, if I want to pull this back into business, because having business is important for all of us, we need to make sure that we are having a little bit of business that does filter out. Now, during festive times, there's a lot of whether it's our sellers, whether it's buyers, whether it's just properties that are in the actual neighborhood that could actually do some form of decorations. Now, this is something that I started to do a couple of years ago. I used to speak to my clients and I used to say to them, especially over the festive Christmas period, send me a picture of your Christmas tree. And I would have clients send me pictures of their Christmas trees, and then I would actually share that on the social media platforms. And I would say, hey, these are my clients. They're sharing their Christmas trees. They moved into the property this year and they're celebrating and enjoying it. And I would get a number of Christmas trees and I would actually start sharing those pictures out with my social media audience. And the people came back and loved it. They were commenting on the trees, how big they were, how decorated they were. But the idea behind it was to create engagement. And as well, and this is really where the kicker came in, I would invite my sellers and buyers where they had their particular trees, I would invite them to that particular page and say, hey, there's your tree. There is your property that I've actually showcased and I've shared. And so many times they would actually put in their comments, they would get their family, their friends to say, hey, have a look at my particular Christmas tree. And they would actually share that with their family and friends and created engagement. So take the time when you're having these festive times, look at what that theme is. See how you can incorporate that, putting it into social media so that you can actually get that exposure. Now, don't put something that's negative out there. Put something that's positive, something that's upwarming and really gives that feeling to everybody to say, hey, I love that. So get that themed that's actually going. If you've got a client that's actually decorated their house with lights, go out there and take a short video. Stand outside and say, hey, I sold this property back in XXX, and this is what they've done with their property. It's absolutely fantastic. And maybe even have a chance to have a conversation with your clients who are the owners of that property and say, hey, how long did it take to put up all these particular lights? We absolutely love it. So get that involvement through, because this starts to take a different level of personal connection with your clients. And new clients in the future are going to say, hey, why doesn't my real estate agent do that for me? Why did they showcase what I have? So it's just another unique way that you can actually do that with your particular clients. Now, another little way that you can actually have this is when you're doing your communications with clients, you could also add on some form of reflection. So this could be a report or a review that you do over the year. And you can actually say, hey, the stats in this particular year, the average property price is X. We've had X number of properties that have sold. We've had this and this and this in this particular suburb. You can go through and you pull out that data. Now, for the certain clients that are really the high C's, they like that analytical data, they will love this particular report. You can talk about any form of events that have happened over the year. But where it's actually going to grow to the next level is clients or buyers that are looking to buy into this particular suburb may get hold of that particular report. And they can actually see, hey, here's a review of the past year. This is what's happened. We're looking at buying in this particular area. This particular agent knows what they're doing. They're an area expert. So these little reports that you can do at the end of the year, it's a reflection of the actual properties that have sold, that have come on the market, X, Y, and Z. And you can put that information together and share that with current clients, social media, and future clients. So the marketing review of the year ahead that you've just completed has such an empowering way of actually bringing on new clients for you going into the future. Now, something that I do from a coaching perspective is with all my clients, we're actually come to the end of the year. We're making this communication. We're spending time with family and friends. We're networking face to face with our clients. We're actually doing reviews of properties that have got great Christmas trees, or maybe they just got lights, or maybe it's a different festive time of the year and they've got some kind of nativity scene or something they've done. Maybe their garden is great and you want to share all that information. You've actually now got this review of everything that's happened over the years so that you're really giving back. But then there's something for yourself. And really, this is so important when we're going into any form of festive breaks. And I said to this a little bit earlier, if you're taking a week or 2 weeks off, you need to make sure that you're planning some form of action or activity from when you come back. Now, when you come towards the end of the year, you need to do that for the next year. You need to plan your activities for the next year. Now, I'm not saying to you, go out and plan 360 days going into the year ahead. What I'm referring to, have a look at the goals that you want to achieve in the upcoming year. What are those goals? Is it a monetary goal? Is it going on holiday with family and friends? Is it something where you want to have X amount of appointments? Is it something that you want to get X amount of exposure? Or maybe it's that one property that you've just always wanted to get listed and you know it's going to come on the market next year because they've told you it, but you want to get that listing to sell it. Or maybe it's a new development that's starting and you want to be the agent that has exclusivity to that particular development. Whatever that is, you need to start planning for that in the previous year. So now for next year. And through that, start breaking it down and start identifying what are the activities I need to do in order for that to happen. And when you actually spend this time, especially at this time of the year, your brain is in a more of a relaxed, calm state. So you're actually going to start removing those limiting beliefs and those walls, those proverbial walls. Actually, when you're in a relaxed state, they start to come down and you'll start thinking outside of the box. You'll start thinking of good, crazy ideas. Write them all down. Have them built up so that you can then start putting them into action when you're going into the next year. It is so important to make sure that you have that plan that is lying ahead so that you are really ready for what's actually coming up. Now, throughout all of this that I've shared with you, there is that maintaining communications. There's one big part of it. And this is something that in your planning of what you're doing now, what you're going to be doing in the years and months and weeks ahead, is gratitude. And gratitude, most when I speak to clients, they always think about gratitude to their clients. They only think about, well, it's that buyer, that seller. And yes, it is to a certain degree a gratitude to those individuals that have given you and helped you build your business. But there's another form of gratitude that I really want you to start to explore. And it's the gratitude of the people that support you. This is your family and this is your friends. This is something that so many times we forget about. We forget about that individual that helped us to close that particular transaction. We forget about the day that your car broke down and you had a friend pick you up and take you through to an appointment. We forget about all those little things. And yes, at the time, we would say thank you. It's absolutely appreciated. But why not take some time when you're doing your reflections over the year? Think back to all the people that have helped you to get to where you are right now. And I'm talking your family, your friends, coaches, mentors, people that are supporting you, whether it's in a church group or social groups. Reach out to them and just say thank you. Just give them that level of gratitude. It goes a long way because that gratitude that you're giving is going to start coming back to you in a way that's going to inspire you, it's going to motivate you, and it's going to prepare you for the upcoming year. Gratitude is something that is so lost so many times through the journey that we take in our life. It's quick and easy to say please and thank you, and then 2 minutes later we forget who that person was. But if you're reflecting back, just take some time to give those gratitudes through to all the people that have helped you through this particular year. And going into the next year, you're going to find that you're starting your time with such a solid base that you're going to have this excitement when you start moving forward. You already have a plan. You've already celebrated with everybody else, even though you've been working. You've given gratitude to the people that have supported you so that you have got that support and they know that you're there for them as well as in return. And in going forward, you're going to find that you're going to have a very, very strong business in moving forward. And the last part of it, you've got to remember this. It's what we refer to as a work-life balance. You need to enjoy the festive times. You need to make sure that you're embracing it as well. So whether you do celebrate the Christmas or whether you're just a person that just enjoys being around people, you need to make sure that you have this work-life balance. And it's so, so important to become part of the actual community. When the community is celebrating, you are celebrating. And that is how you take and elevate yourself as a person into the future. Don't take this time during the festive season and only do work and forget about the festive times. And in reverse, don't only do the festive times and just totally ignore work, because our business is building relationships. And that is what we must never forget. We need to make sure that we are consistently building relationships, whether it's in a professional manner, whether it's in a personal manner. It's building those relationships to make sure that you have the most empowering life by design that you actually want. So this is really what I wanted to share with all of you today, is what to do during the festive seasons when we have this confusion with everybody else is either going on holiday or people are just hard at work and they're really the bar humbug. You need to take that balance between life and start moving forward. And the last question that I actually want to share with you, and it really is something that is actually sitting up on the wall behind me. Life is a question. How you live it is the answer. So just ask yourself those questions every day, do those activities, and you're going to find that you're going to be able to find that you're going to have the most productive year ahead, as well as you're going to be able to enjoy the actual festive times with everybody.